Hey guys, welcome to question MM429 of the Maths Methods Fortify study guide. So in this question we've got a continuous random variable x which has a probability density function given by this 1 on 4 root x between 0 and 4 and we need to determine the value of m where m is the median of x. Awesome. So as you guys probably know by now if you're up to these sort of questions, the median is the point that has half the data on either side of it, okay? So that means that half lies between 0 and m, so m is somewhere between here. Half lies between 0 and m, and the other half lies between m and 4, okay? So what we can say is that half, our area, is equal to our integral, so our area from 0 to m, up here, of our function. So 1 over 4 root x dx. Now what I'm going to do, because I personally like doing this, is to actually take 1 on 4 out as a constant. So I'm going to say equals 1 quarter, which equals, 1 quarter 0 to m of 1 over root x, which is the same as x to the power of negative 1/2. Okay, so we change it to that because we want an index. That's going to allow us to find this properly. Now, we can actually just integrate this as normal now. So what we get is the integral. So we add 1 to the power and then divide by the new power. So what we end up getting is 2x to the power of 1/2, where x to the power of 1/2 is root x. Okay, so 2 root x from 0 to m, and that's equal to 1/2. So this is our first mark out of a 2-mark question. Now we can just keep going as normal. So we get 1 quarter outside of 2 root m, so we're subbing our m in, and then we're minusing 2 root 0, which is obviously just going to be 0. So what we get is 1 quarter times 2 root m, is 1/2. 1 quarter times 2 is 1/2. So 1/2 equal 1/2 root m equals 1/2. And then we can times both sides, divide both sides by 1/2. What we get is 1 equals root m. So then m is equal to 1. That's our second mark. So that's our final answer for part A. Let's move straight on to part B. Part B is also a 2-mark question, and we are asked to find the probability that x is greater than 2 given that x is greater than or equal to m. Cool. So we're looking for the probability that x is greater than 2 given that x is greater than or equal to m. Awesome. So what this means, according to our given formula, is probability that x is greater than 2 intersect x is greater than m, probability of x is greater than or equal to m. Awesome. Now, what we will need to do is actually figure out our intersect between these two things. Now, because m is equal to 1, and actually, you know what, let's do number line. I've done this multiple times, but just to give you a bit of a hand. So m is equal to 1, so that's our m, and we've got a 2 here. So the probability that x is greater than 2 is everything up here. Probability that x is greater than or equal to m, which is 1 in this case, is everything from this point onwards. So the intersect between those two is everything in this section here, which is everything greater than 2. Okay? So this is equal to the probability that x is greater than 2 over the probability that x is greater than or equal to m. Awesome. So now we're going to need to find the probability that x is greater than 2. Okay? So the probability that x is greater than 2, let's just deal with that first, is equal to our integral, so our area from 2 to 4, because we're dealing with greater than 2 and 4 is our upper limit, 1 over 4 root x dx. Take out our common factor of 1 quarter, or our constant of 1 quarter, 2 to 4, 1 on root x is the same as x to the negative 1/2 dx. And then we can take our quarter, integrate this, what we end up with is 2 root x, as I've explained in part A. If you're not sure how I get that, just check out part A, from 2 to 4. Okay, I'm going to rewrite this just over here so we know what we're doing. X is greater than 2, x is less than or greater than or equal to m. Don't need that. This is what we're looking for at the moment. So now I'm going to just rub this out. And what we get is 1 quarter 2 root 4 minus 2 root 2. Awesome. Which means that we get 1 quarter outside of 2 times root 4, which is 2 times 2, so that's just 4. So we get 4 minus 2 root 2, and that's equal to our probability. And then simplifying this, we actually get 1/2 outside of 2 take root 2, and I'm just going to say that that's 2 take root 2 over 2. Okay, so this is our probability that x is greater than 2, right? Which means that this bit here is now equal to 2 take root 2 over 2, and the probability that x is greater than or equal to m, our median, is 1/2, right? Because 1/2 lies on either side of the median, so that's equal to 1/2 there. This is the same as 2 take root 2 over 2 multiplied by 2 over 1, which means that our final answer is 2 take away root 2. Now, our first mark came when we found our probability that x is greater than 2, so this bit here. Then our second mark comes when we actually write that as our final answer. And guys, that's it for part B, and that actually wraps up MM429. So if you have any questions about any of this, guys, please hit me up in the comments below. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.